Welcome back to WGLNA. We just had our first battle of match number 3 for the night of Fates Chosen versus Simplistic. It did end in a draw. But we're going to break down one of the biggest engagements and actually one of the biggest moments where it could have been completely different. Rue Kilman, hand it over to you as we go into this replay. What are your thoughts?
Exactly. So as we pull up this replay, we see Simplistic's T71 versus a Fates Chosen T71 and Fates Chosen 5100. Now, this fight was wonderfully pulled out by Art of War. He delayed it as long as he could. But at the exact same time, I was hoping to see Simplistic on the other side of the map, the rest of their tanks, with this overmatch that they would have had, push onto the hill. Now, Art of War is doing a great job here. He's on the other side of the rock, but on the other side of the map, we see 3 red heavy tanks, where there could have been a 4v3, while Art of War is distracting not only the Bison, but the 5100 as well, and he's killed a T71. So he's doing so much right now that his team isn't capitalizing on. So that is what that's what really stung when I watched this.
The other thing, though, you have to keep in mind, and I know pro play is very, very different, but charging that hill can be very difficult. There's a lot of different areas where I can take a shot and back up and be under 100% cover, and you cannot return fire because you can't get a good spot on me. Like, you're always going to be rounding a bend, and with that round, I'm going to shoot you, and I'm going to back up. So there's probably like 2 or 3 times when you know, an IS-3 or an AMX 5100 on top there can keep doing that. So when you look at charging the hill and trying to exchange, you're looking at 1,000 hit points, maybe more, of damage you're going to be taking.
But at the same time, the red commander that was Fates Chosen's commander is so caught up at this moment, probably with the west side of the map, sorry, where that T71 was fighting. So what I'm really wanting to see, and you see how these 2 tanks here are shooting tanks coming up.
Yeah.
If they grouped up and they'd actually had a tank prepared to shoot back, generally people are ready to return fire, and that'll scare off the heavy tanks enough to the point where you can aggress.
All right, well, it did draw out, guys, and we are going to go back into the game right now. This is live. It started just about a minute ago, and as you can see, very similar situations as we've just had. Red team has gone ahead and tried to storm the hill, but they were stopped this time around.
Yeah, they were stopped in their tracks, being a little bit more aggressive and taking that higher road. Those 2 T69s, Mighty Pillow and Doberman. And a couple of more shots fired.
Oh, here we go.
The T71 trying to get away, but Commander J himself taking a lot of damage, trying to focus on that 1390. Prime Moose, one more shot. He could go down. Commander J for the same 36. Prime Moose lands the shot. Huge for the blue team. As Mighty Pillow and Doberman are trying to get around to take down the rest of the T32, they're not going to because they'll be under cover, or in cover rather, as the T69 from Doberman's going to try to see if anyone's going to try to poke around the bottom of the hill. They're not going to. They're going to have to regroup.
Yeah, when the trades actually finish out, you would think that having that hilltop would have been a lot better, but the AMX 1390 traded out for an AMX 5100. That is Tier 8 for Tier 8. On top of that, look at the hit points. Art of War and Mighty Pillow don't have a lot left. They weren't able to capitalize on the rushing positioning that the red team, Fates Chosen, has gone in. And yes, there was a lineup change, by the way, at the AMX 1390.
Yeah, that was big because the AMX 1390 doesn't have the same amount of hit points compared to the AMX 5100. Sometimes it comes down to a hit point pool, and then IS-3 takes down another team member, Mighty Pillow, in that Tier 8 T69. Speed Weaponry trying to aim up to the T32. Hits one, misses the other. Art of War and the T71 going back and forth here as the Bison tries to land another hit. Speed Weaponry's at a good little angle to try to see if anybody's going to overcommit on the top of that, on the top of the hill for mines. And if they do so, they could get hit by the Bison on their team. More shots. T71 goes down, however, from big spot. 3 dead for Simplistic.
And now Speed Weaponry is the target of choice. He has been shot once. He can kind of double tap a couple of these guys. Of course, big spot over here in the T32, but let's be honest, it's definitely difficult to shoot either of them at this time.
Yep. Fates Chosen is in a definite lead right now, folks.
Yeah.
4 tanks have been destroyed on the blue team. Only one Tier 8 Commander J has been destroyed for Fates Chosen.
And T71 is going to wrap around right now, just trying to take out that Bison. I'm sure also a little bit scared that you can get flanked. Remember that T71 can pen the AMX 5100. At this point, the T1s are battling off a little bit. Schooly will win out, and he's going to try to cap, but the Bison, is he going to go to TD mode and try to do something about this? Schooly, what can you do?
Schooly 5 HP. Can he pull it off? Trying around the corner, see if one of those shots will hit that watch post.
God.
Bison trying to back up. Is he loaded?
Oh, he
shoots,
misses!
He misses! Schooly is going to unload on the Bison, trying to get around him, trying to get from behind to shoot him down.
Uh-oh, and Schooly, don't get hit, don't get hit, okay.
Might be ramp damage, too
Unload,
close to
unload.
do damage. Oh, another miss from the Bison. Schooly has another opportunity to get a kill. Blue team's able to take down another red player at the same time.
Here we go, here we go.
Oh, and he gets
Schooly
it.
takes 2 kills,
Schooly
baby.
looks at the face of death and utterly annihilates it.
Even though we should have probably been looking at the heavy tanks, it's okay. AMX 5100 speed weaponry is still alive and kicking. It looks like one more hit has gone off onto him. Now he needs to man up and kill 2 people.
He needs to man up indeed. He needs to pull a Schooly. Schooly's dead, however.
Oh, no, say it isn't so.
One shot left, and Fate's Chosen will take it. Big spot moving down from the top. Oh, gets a hit from Speed Weaponry. One more shot from the IS-3. We'll be able to take it.
Okay, that's one.
One more hit. There he goes. He's able to take it. Fate's Chosen does take the first game. Great play by Schooly. You know, I thought it was over, and
it was someone to root for at the end there. I mean, when you're down 4 tanks you've lost 4 tanks. Your opponents have only lost 1 tank. It's all but over, especially if we're talking about tier 8 tanks, not even tier 1 tanks. So it's unfortunate, but when it comes down to it, it was very, very nice play by Schooly, but you can't do much in that tier 1 sometimes.
Yeah, we did miss a little bit of the engagement happening on the mines because of that, but I was highly entertained. And Schooly, if I had a special ribbon to give you for the night, I would give it to you. That was quite an impressive play. Let's go ahead and look back at it.
Oh, man.
So he gets the kill against that Bison. Bison missed twice in that engagement, and that was huge. And as we go back to what was happening on the mines, Fate's Chosen had pretty much cleaned up everything that was left for Simplistic. Speed Weaponry, the only one left alive. Schooly, of course, as well, but his death came pretty quickly after this. And, the T-32, again, coming down from the top of the mines and helping to clean up. He actually got shot down, but the IS-3 was able to clean up at the end.
I do want to talk a little bit more, though, about what really happened. How did they get such a disadvantage? It came down to the AMX 1390 and the T71. They charged that hill. Smart to do. When you have an AMX 1390, you better take that hill. Your opponents do not have one. Obviously, you're going to have a big speedment and gun advantage once you approach it. Let's go ahead and get to the team score real quick. We'll go into the details and see what everybody did. So this is over here. You can see the AMX 1390 did a good amount of damage. 771 for a scout isn't bad whatsoever. But the fact of the matter is you cannot lose this AMX 1390 when you charge the hill. You have the chances to shoot and then run away. You need to run away because speed is your advantage. Once you trade out, even if it's for a heavy, you still have 3 heavies or 4 heavies on the hill. No, it's actually 3 heavies. 3 heavies on the hill, and then your team has 3 heavies on the ground. That's unfavorable positions. Keep the speed alive. Make it a constant threat. Be able to go to the east side, go to the west side, threaten that Bison, make him feel uncomfortable, and then you'll slowly climb the advantage. Rootkill, what's your thoughts?
So this whole match was just a big cluster. So you had tanks shooting up and down this hill. It was just so much nonsense to me. Seeing everything that was happening there, I did not feel like Simplistic was getting out of a position that I thought was just terrible. Under the hill like that, playing the hill game, you had the enemy take the hill. You had 3 heavies up there doing whatever they liked because they had the high ground. So it was a big problem for Simplistic, and they didn't get themselves out of a situation.
Yeah, and also you have to keep in mind, I'm sure they're not expecting the full-out charge. It seems so trivial not to do that, right? You have firepower on the low ground, firepower on the high ground, but after that, they definitely looked a little bit disheveled, a little bit, what's going on? What they need to do going into the second battle is just calm down a little bit. They definitely have the skill and the dexterity to go on and win this series. They just have to put it all together.
Yep, especially after a draw, I think okay, maybe they're going to do the same thing, maybe they're going to do something differently. You don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
You actually start playing mind games with yourself, and you could psych yourself out.
Yeah, how many
thinking
times
that
does that happen in any game you play? It's like, oh, well, they just did that. Well, if they do that, well, let's counter that. But what if they counter my counter? And then what if they counter my counter of the counter? It's like, okay, what?
Yeah, you can't do
What's
that.
going on?
You can't do that because you'll
And then by
freeze.
the time that happens, your opponents have already pulled off whatever they're going to do, and you're like, oh, crap, what do I do for this? And then you kind of mess up. So definitely could have been indecision going into that second first battle, but you know, we'll definitely see because they have a couple more chances to qualify.
They do have a couple more chances to qualify, and everyone watching has a couple more chances to win some gold. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at WGLNA or on Facebook at facebook.com/WGLNA, and also to catch all the VODs on YouTube at youtube.com/WGLNA. We've actually been giving away some gold tonight, and we have a lot more to give away. We have about 10 codes per night to give away. We'll also give away some tomorrow during our recap of the qualifier number 2. Battle 1 goes to Fates Chosen, but it's not over yet as we continue match 3 of Fates Chosen versus Simplistic. We'll be right back. Different teams are moving out now. Rookhill looks like on the west side. Fates Chosen is deciding to go city, and on the top, looks
They're
like they're
going
go
east. Yep, exactly
Who
as
would've thought?
predicted. Yeah, who would have thought? Send your 2 RD pieces to the east where you have a field to shoot into.
Yeah. Oh, the field instead of a lot of obstruction.
Exactly.
It makes so much sense.
It does make
Brilliant.
sense. Fates Chosen now taking that E2 quadrant, E3 quadrant right now in that city block, and still going to be a little bit hesitant to push any more forward because of any kind of crossfire they can have from Simplistic. Simplistic at the same time now going to commit on this east side using the train tracks for cover against the west, and will continue south this time. Speed Weaponry taking the frontal position here, and no tanks have been spotted for either team at this time.
You know, what I love about this lineup so much over on the side of Blue Team Simplistic is that all 7 tanks can do damage. That's something that's really cool. Now, the tier 1s, obviously, over on Fate's Chosen side, can definitely help out and assist the damage. But when it comes down to it, you're 7 versus 5. Now, what that also means by having 2 artilleries is that if you're not running artilleries, or the opponents of artilleries cannot cap. If you cap, you're going to get blown up, right? It just gives more room for those artilleries to make very good, easy, concentrated shots. So the ball is in Simplistic's side to do something, to make something of it. Unfortunately, they have to play a little bit defensive until they have some sort of trigger. The thing is, they have options to make things happen. A simple spot, and all of a sudden 2 arties have a good amount of damage to rain down on them. And when you have 2 arties instead of 1, you decrease the variance, right? So you make it a lot more common for you to connect those shots because you have more shots going out in smaller bursts of time.
And speaking of triggers, using that KV5 because of the hit point advantage it has over other tanks, you know, it's not necessarily the best firepower, some will say. However, it can still hold its own. And if you can tempt some of your opponents to move out of cover to get the kill against the tank, maybe the KV5, those extra shots means a couple seconds longer they will stay out of cover, meaning your 2 artillery can zero in and get the kill against those tanks. And there's nothing like being saved by an artillery when you're face-to-face against another tank.
That is right, Clutch. For now, let's go over just the basic positions. KV5 is in a very nice reverse angling position. You can see that he's covered a lot by these fences right next to him, and on top of that, his R2-D2, which is his weak spot, is being covered pretty nicely by his turret. Right behind that, the T-69 that is in a good position right behind the KV5 is positioned to defend his flag. Over the AMX 5100 is providing good crossfire, and we also have speed weaponry over to assist any of the artilleries. All the way on the other side of the field, though, we have Primus, who is ready to countercap at any time. They still need to have some sort of spots on their opponents. Clutch, let's talk a little bit about the opponent's side and see where their positions are.
Yeah, Fates Chosen has completely reconfigured their positioning as of right now. One of their light tanks is still staying in the A3 mark to see if any movement will happen from Simplistic moving to the west side. They've actually moved over now to their flag cap, and now they've been spotted by Primus in that T-52 to see their type of movement. This is huge for Simplistic because now they know where the enemy is and they can adjust accordingly.
There were already shots fired. Did any of those hit?
One of them hit against Konmats on the IS-3 as he's moving across the tracks. They are vulnerable at this moment because it's slow moving across those tracks. However, they're trying to stay as close as they can to any cover available, be it trains themselves or any of the warehouses or depots that's available to try to guard themselves against those artilleries.
Now let's watch Primus real quick because he's going to be the most important character right now. He's the one that wants to spot while having some sort of retreat path. And as you can see, the IS-3 is lit up right now. Can any of the arties connect shots? That's going to be the question. It looks like no, they will not be able to. And he's just going to back up into cover. Now, it's important. Look at what Primus is doing. He's not saying, okay, let's constantly just keep backing up, keep backing up. No, let's back up all the way. And what he's going to do is find another scouting pattern so that he can stay kind of away from the main engagement so he doesn't get caught in crossfire. He can get good shots on their opponents because he's not going to pen really that much from the front. And then he can obviously spot as well.
Active scouts, best scouts in this game. More shots fired now between both the teams. Couple land, not on any tanks though, but close enough to scare them back into cover. Mighty Pillow and Art of War trying to line up any kind of shots they can. That T-69, he's not going to be able to see much of that building in front of him though, trying to stay behind cover. Art of War in that KV-5 is going to move a little bit behind the T-69 and maybe reposition himself, again, being that trigger, being that spearhead, being that follow me guys to victory type tank because of the absorption of shots he can have, but shots absorbed by the armor of Doe 80 as he goes down to 840 hit points out of 1,400.
Nice shot by Speed Weaponry there. He has a really tough shot to make, and he's going to try to line it up again. Can he get it? No.
Nope.
Schooley's going to have a shot, though. He misses.
And Schooley, let's see. Nope.
No, he was able to get past just in time before taking any more damage across those tracks. Red team, Fate's Chosen going to be using those tracks back and forth to try to bait out. There's the bait. Prime Moose moves just in time, however, as Commander J is taking a little bit of damage, 1308 out of 1,400 HP.
Okay, and these are really nice shots for the arties. The trains aren't actually large enough or tall enough to stop any of these shots. So we're going to have Primus proxy scouting these two for now.
And the red team is going to move in.
And here we go. It's going to start up. There's going to be a rearrangement of positioning. And
they are going to rearrange, as you were saying, Retort, but Shape for 5994 is taking way too much damage, and he is the first blood in this match.
Very nicely done, and now they're just going to collapse on these IS-3s while the AMX 5100s were out trying to get a good angle. Unfortunately, the IS-3s are going to be picked off, and now these AMX 5100s feel really out of place because they wanted to just go ahead and flank. Oh,
and they
nice
do
job.
Get the flank against
yeah,
Schooley at that time. I saw what they were trying to do. They were able to execute it, but at what cost you have to think because those trains do not allow them to move in, but Commander J moving as fast as he can across the tracks. Doe 80 is tracked. He's going to take another hit. One more, and he's going to go down, and he does go down. Mighty Pillow and Art of War with the Battle Buddy system are able to get those kills. Big spot in the IS-3 trying to push in, but Art of War is a moving wall as he can try to guard the rest of his teammates from taking any damage as they move into a better position.
Yeah, a moving wall.
He's going to take a hit himself.
A moving wall with 500 damage backing him up with those two arties. Remember, those are very, very powerful. So Art of War is going to try to push and muscle the IS-3 into a bad position for those arties. It's actually better just to hit him straight on and say, okay, just fire at me because I do not want those arties to attack me. T-50-2 is going to come in and kind of try to blindside this AMX 5100. He's getting prioritized. They're not even caring about the IS-3. Of course, the 5100 puts out a lot more damage. Down he goes. And it looks like Primus, the T-50-2, is going to take out Commander J. Now it's only one IS-3 left. Of course, the T-1 is over there as well. But, you know, this IS-3 not looking so good as, of course, the two arties are going to line up shots. And there, one of them connects. Very nicely done. He's on fire. This tank is on fire!
Prime Moose doing an excellent job of distracting Big Spot. Big Spot does get the kill, though, against that T-69. Art of War or Prime Moose can line up one more shot, and they do so. Prime Moose, MVP in this match, doing a great job Sonrisa, the only one left alive. I believe that's Spanish for smile. We'll have to remember here. T1 Cunningham, he's going to get chased down by Prime Moves. Prime Moves with a shot on the move over the tracks, gets the hit.
Oh,
and again,
2 shots on the move.
Wow, quick draw.
He's awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop it right now. Simplistic, that was an awesome win. How good was that T50-2?
He was very good. He got on the flanks very appropriately, and he connected some very key shots. There was a 5100 I saw go down to, what was it, maybe 70-something health, and then Primus finished him off. Very efficient use of his shell. He fires very quickly with the 57. That is the same gun you actually see on the Tier 5 T34. And before the TAC-2 came in the game, you know, the only tank that you would have reasonably used that on, if, you know, theoretically you were using 742 and you had a Tier 5, would have been the T34. But now you get a TAC-2, which is like a T34, but better in every single way. Those Tier 5 lights are fantastic tanks, so efficient to bring, because Tier 5 points, but great damage output, great vision, great camo, and he did a fantastic job.
My God, like, we really, really were able to showcase his skills this time around. Great decision making, as you said, always getting around into the favorable positions. Being that little bee sting, right? He's not doing the main damage, but he was able to clean up that AMX 5100. A lot of times you don't want, like, your AMX 5100 cleaning up that shot, because, yes, it's 90 hit points, but you're dealing normally 300 damage around there. That's a lot of overkill damage. You want to be spending on that IS-3, which is exactly what they did.
Very impressive play style from both teams in Battle 1 for Fate's Chosen, and now for Battle 2 for Simplistic. It is tied 1-1 and will continue in Battle number 3 when we come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is tied up 1-1 apiece, basically making this a best of 3. Winner is going to go into the Season 1 WGLNA. Rootkill, what do we have in this beginning?
All right, so I don't see an Artie on south side, Simplistic, blue. And on the north, we see Fate's Chosen moving their Artie. I saw him holding still at the beginning, and I thought we were going to see a nice scout run, but we're not. So we're just going to see Fate's Chosen artillery piece go up to the northwest, a very safe position for him. He's going to have plenty of cover. No one's going to be able to spot him unless they get way, way too close. So this map's looking like it's going to actually go kind of slow. I would have expected something a little quicker out of a full light setup, but both teams seem to kind of go with the we'll wait and see what happens.
Thank you for clarifying that, by the way. I did say Simplistic has the Artie before. It is, in fact, Fate's Chosen. Over on Team Red side to the north. Bottom side, of course, is Simplistic by blue. Thanks, Rootkill.
I got you.
Doe 80 also has a heavy tank of the AMX 5100. Now, we have seen this type of playstyle used on Pro Kohorka or Steps, where more of the open, tight maps, usually light tanks are chosen, but still heavy tanks can be chosen for a variety of reasons, 2 of which I would say the top of the list, firepower and hit points.
All right, so blue team over on the south side. Simplistic is grouping up around here. They're looking like they're going to the southeastern side.
Yep, they're going to cross over the hill that divides the east, a portion of the eastern part of the map, and they're going to try and push it in, hoping to catch possibly someone out.
Yeah,
I don't think they've spotted anyone, have they?
No, they haven't. There's a lot of shroud over in the eastern section, just because of that hill. The hill actually blocks the line of sight, so you're able to sneak around and potentially do that damage. Here's the hill that we're approaching right now. Ba-doom. And now all of a sudden, look at that sight. You can't really see anything. And of course, you can't see up or down. So they're going to poke up with 5 all of a sudden and try to take someone out. But nice spot by Big Spot, and he's going to spot Big.
Oh, he spots way big. That's all 5 tier 8s.
Yeah, all 5 tier 8s have been spotted by Big Spot. Well, choice of words there, Greetorp. And he's going to move it away as fast as he can from all these WZ-132s and AMX 1390s back towards his team. One of the medium tanks on his side is going to try to hold that positioning here. And now the red team knows that the flank advancement is happening from the west through that valley. And the AMX 5100 is going to put himself into a good position to be able to return fire Type 59 AMX 1390 are positioned right behind those rocks to get any type of primary alpha strikes against those blue light tanks. Now they're going to move themselves back to the south area. Also, huge thank you to Frodan, who's doing an excellent job tonight on the observer cam, giving us some of the best shots so far to give you guys all the action.
Absolutely. Thank you, Frodan. And I really like, by the way, that Type 59 out there. I was saying that it's one of my favorite premium tanks that you can get. It just has such a ridiculous effective armor in the front. You're not penning that thing unless you have ridiculous penetration. Even like IS-3s can't pen that from the front unless you really, really aim fast. But on open maps, guess what? You're not aiming that well. You don't have the time to aim that well because it's so
gets
fast.
Ammo racked. Sorry to cut you off there.
Wow.
Great
Yeah,
T2 light engagement was happening here. First blood now at the hands of Fates Chosen, taking down the T1 Cunningham for Simplistic. Big spot. Still able to see any type of movement because of the push down from Fates Chosen are going to be countered by the sweeping formation of almost a flying V by Simplistic.
Oh, GW Panther shot is going to miss. That's a pretty brutal shot to miss because you need to land all these as they're approaching. Now they're pretty much approaching their opponents with more tier points going into this since that Panther is on reload.
Nice
and,
shots on the
Doberman.
fly.
Yeah, really, really nice, and he's going to go down.
A-Large made a great shot on the 1390, complete RNG right there. That reticle he was looking down was huge.
Well, he took the shot, and
that's all that matters,
you
right?
can't hit unless you take the shot. It's true in World of Tanks. It's also true in dating. You'll never know unless you go for it. And right now, these 5 tanks that are still left alive for Simplistic are going to stay behind these rocks in the HJ5 section on the map.
Yeah, I really like what Simplistic's doing, just going back and forth, east to west, because guess what? Every single time you go east, you're going to pick off a little bit. Every time you go west, you're going to pick off a little bit. You're going to get them in a bad position. And you keep doing this, you're going to get the dividends from doing all this. Now, they have to remember, they need something of substance. Tier 1, a little bit damage on a Tier 2. It's good, but it's not a win yet. So let's see what they can make of it.
When they backed off there, they realized they'd killed a T2, excuse me, and they were a shot down for A-Large at least. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to reload. So A-Large went and took those few seconds to reload so that when they re-engaged, they wouldn't be a shot down, which could be the necessary shot to win a fight.
All right, well, they do spot Commander J in that 1390 over there. And are they going to go on him? Of course, they have to be very careful, and they cannot be predictable because remember, as soon as the GW Panther lines up a shot on you and it thinks he knows where you're going to go, you're in for a real world of hurt.
One shot by the Type 59 sailed right over the AMX 1390. Now the WZ-132 prime moves trying to get around the Type 59. They've picked their target. One shot hits against Little Black Rain Cloud. Commander J in the 1390 trying to stop the advancement against his teammate. Same time, Speed Weaponry taking some hits from the side of the red, and he gets the kill against Doe 80's teammate. He is down. Shots fired again from Schoolie. Speed Weaponry trying to focus again. Another shots land against Fates Chosen. Their SPG is down.
Yes, it is. Primus is going to engage against his AMX 1390, but he needs to get out of there because Big Spot is there to support. A lot of chaos going on through this, but you can see a lot more dead on the red side. Simplistic is ahead. They're ahead by 2 tanks.
Speed Weaponry, Primus, and Schoolie have found their target again, the AMX 5100. This is huge because of the high hit points that it still has, 702 against 329, 238, and also the high damage he's able to output. However, he's going to try to move around away from that side. One tank does get tracked. It is the AMX 1590. He does get hit again. One more hit from Primus from the WZ-132, but however, it's his teammate that gets the kill. Nice use of focusing down on one target and getting the kill. Commander J still left alive in the AMX 1390. A-Large and Art of War, trying to move in for the kill. Art of War gets the hit. A-Large from behind, lines up the shot, gets it.
Very nicely played. My goodness, just their mobility, their ability to isolate targets in a very, very systematic way is amazing to watch. And now they're going to line up shots on Big Spot. What can you do? You're only one AMX 1390. It's so difficult in this position. He's just backing up. But those WZ-132s have a much better reticle while they're on the move.
These AMX 1390s, however, are landing shots on the move. Big Spot does able to land that one against the WZ-132. I think he was a bit surprised as he was moving away. Not as surprised as his opponent, who moved back as his other teammates with more HP are going to try to get the kill. Red base is under attack as 2 of the light tanks commit to get the capture. Another shot fired for Big Spot. It does miss. However, following A Large trying to get the read on his opponent, moving up the hill, going to continue moving in. Sees him sideswiping to the right, lines up the shot, shoots, fires, misses. Another hit goes down, he's trying to land one more. He stops his tank this time, lands the shot, and only one tank left alive. It is a T2 light.
Yep, and they already know where he is. Go ahead and try to find him.
And it's too late because he's down.
Yep. As soon as I mention it, I jinx him and he goes down. Battle victory goes to Simplistic. And Greetorp, like you said, how they were able to set their targets, surround that target,
crazy, man.
get the kills on it. That's how they were able to beat the higher HP.
Because
pool.
you had 2 separate packs. That's something that's so crazy. And it's almost like they didn't even talk to each other. They knew exactly how to move as a single unit. That's something that comes with continuous training and exercising and always playing together. You can tell you have multiple battle buddies in that platoon.
Yep, sticking together, knowing how to flank. It was a good show. You don't have the time to communicate that kind of stuff in a fight. So when they were doing that stuff, it was obvious. These guys are very familiar with each other. They're used to playing together, and they understood the basics of World of Tanks combat, where you have to flank.
I want to talk more about the Type 59 when we come back because I thought that was a great tank choice for what they were trying to execute, but it didn't work. And
yes,
I want to hear your thoughts about that. We're going to be right back, ladies and gentlemen. As we just completed battle number 4, we're going to move into, battle number 3. We're going to move into battle number 4 after this. Right, east, left, west. Okay, got it.
We got it.
There you go.
Real kill breakdown, what's happening?
All right, so teams are going to opposite sides of the map. We've got on the blue side, which is Simplistic here, they're going towards that Delta Village. They've got the jump, they're going to go for it. And they've also got that great 1390 scout. They're the ones who picked the 1390, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got that 1390 going for a nice little scout run here. I favor this kind of strat. I've done this before. I love using a 1390 on Ruin Break. You get great map control and great flexibility out of it.
Doberman's going to be the T-32 hauling down to just be careful about any potential movement around. Over here on, I would say, the 6th line, a lot of times you'll see that, but also inside the city. Now he's going to move into it. Of course, he has a battle buddy. Don't worry. He has an IS-3 battle buddy.
Always have a battle buddy.
Mighty Pillow.
Previously, that spot we saw some great T-32 played during was it qualifier number 1 or was it this week? I think
We've
it was
seen
this week.
some this week. I've seen some good stuff this week from T-32s.
I call
over here.
that section the crossroads. It's the meeting point at that southern point of the TIE fighter at the E6 side where the T-32 can't put himself in a bit of a hold down position to stop any type of counter flank or counter fire moving in to the east village. Now 3 tanks have been spotted. 1 on the side of the blue team for the light, and 2 on the side of Fate's Chosen. Actually, one of the heavy tanks and one of the lights as well. It's probably one of these IS-3s, the parade of IS-3s, if you will, in this section of the map. And blue is spreading themselves out now, trying to get better map control, forcing more of the southern or western side to make a move. And now 2 tanks have been spotted for both teams, the 2 heavies that are in the middle of the map for the blue team and the 2 heavies that are on the west of the map for the red team.
All right, so kind of expected. We knew that Simplistic was going to go out into the eastern or the Delta Village, take that positioning, and then just sweep across into the city. Of course, we also knew Fate's Chosen was going to go inside, and with those 3 IS-3s, really take control of that city. Make sure you can play good corner games and go from there. The question is, how is the entry? How are they going to either enter the western area or enter the eastern area if you are, Simplistic or Fate's Chosen, whoever chose which side? And that's the big question we always try to look at. Now, the T-32 obviously is in a great hold-down position, controlling that entire line from, I would say, E to F. And that's a pretty important line. That's center control right there. And meanwhile, the rest of the team is going to go ahead and start sweeping around to the north area. They're also going to prevent any flag caps, which they do kind of see coming.
Yeah, they kind of see coming. Well, it looks like since nothing's happening towards the eastern side, they have positioned themselves to stop the advancement from the west. And now they're able to spot, because of the 50-meter range, any of those tanks there. And now no shots fired yet, but moving around the corners, Art of War trying to land the shot, and he does, and it's a miss for Doe 80. Already, that is a huge Alpha Strike victory for the blue team.
He shoots again. Commander J gets shot. AMX 5100 as well. And now all the tanks are showing up. This is great for Simplistic. Now, what's going to happen? The T-32 and the IS-3 are going to sweep around, getting a nice flank. They do not have enough time to isolate these AMX 5100s. IS-3 is going to come up here. Big spot. Oh, first shot is missed. Second shot is a good one. And they're going to burn this IS-3 down to the floor. They're actually missing a ton.
They are. There's misses going back and forth here. Art of War trying to line up a shot again against Big Spot. But Big Spot is going to be completely backed up by his team. Everyone in here. And blue base is under attack. The red team is capturing very quickly. However, they're going to take some hits themselves. Big Spot, 97 hit points left out of 1,500. And from the rear, Mighty Pillow and Doberman are moving in against the IS-3s, the most vulnerable spot for any tank in this game, particularly these heavies.
Nice.
AMX 50 himself is going to take some hits as well. Mighty Pillow leading the charge as the T-32 of Doberman's moving in to get any kills here. As Art of War and the AMX 5100 is going to hold that line. But the IS-3s on the side of Fate's Chosen are going to try to get this round against him.
This is beautiful. Look at how many blue tanks are surrounding and preventing this cap from happening. AMX 5100 being played by Doe is going to go down. And look at this. IS-3s need to just scurry home because they are being capped themselves. But they're revealing their buttocks.
They are, and boom goes the dynamite as he gets shot down. Conmod's IS-3 still getting hit from the rear, trying to get home as soon as he can. Another hit fires. Another hit lands, excuse me. Another one lands. He is continually on the move, trying to escape anything and anyone shooting at him.
Doberman lines up the shot.
Another hit.
He does catch fire for a second there, but he has an auto-fire extinguisher, so that does put the fire instantly.
Con mode still on the run here. 1 T1 still left alive. Capture 12, 11, 10 seconds left on the clock. Schoolie could do it. He could do it for the team. 5% left. Shots fired again. IS-3, only one left alive.
Can he get him? Can he get him,
Schoolie?
He does not. No! Schoolie's gonna win it for the team.
Simplistic is your victors, ladies and gentlemen. They will be continuing on into league play starting July 11th. They have a chance to win the $100,000 prize pool. A huge congratulations to them. And also I want to appreciate, kind of tip my hat to Fate's Chosen. They played well. This was a great series, and I look forward to seeing what they can do in season number 2. But right now on the board, Simplistic joins Refuse to Die and Nerve. All three of these teams have qualified tonight. Joining the other 4 teams from qualifier number 1, Scurry Hard, Cazadores, the Cunninghams, and River of Blood. Andre, a great match.